Just wanted the earth to open up and just suck me in. I was like, I'm so prepared, I'm going to go there and get it done. There should be no problem, right? You'll see later. Hey there guys! I'm back with another video. If you're wondering why you suddenly see me with some makeup on and dressed a little bit fancy, if you will, I am celebrating 10 years in Romania today. I even did my makeup. I made the Romanian flag as a winged eyeliner. I'll put some pictures here so you can see it closer. In celebration, other than my makeup, I decided to do this little video telling you the story of how I got my citizenship. Let's get to it! As a background story, I want to tell you how I got here in the first place. So I'm from Moldova originally. I was born and raised mostly in Moldova, in the Republic of Moldova, if you will. So my parents are divorced since I was little, and in 2008 my mother met my stepdad and they got married. In 2010 I got here exactly 10 years ago on 13th of August and I started my 5th grade. I went through life as a Romanian person. Honestly, I was very lucky because this change did not affect me that much, because these two countries, Moldova and Romania, they were one country. We speak the same language and most of the educational system is the same, so everything was pretty seamless for me. To the legal side, let's go. I had a green card. I don't know how to say it other than like this. It's called permis de ședere. It's like allowance to stay here. They are allowing me to stay here. After I got into uni, we applied for this citizenship and they told us that we had to wait around 7 or 8 months, I think. So we gave them the documents in November of 2008 and they told us that around the summer of 2019 we should expect to go to the next phase of the citizenship process. We waited and nothing was happening, and then I think at the end of January we got a letter that my mother was expected for the interview. I was a little bit shocked because I didn't get mine. But I was like, whatever, I could not go anyway, I had my exams, I was still in Erasmus. They told me to prepare to go on 1st of April for the interview/testing part. Honestly, we also laughed at that part because I was like, yeah, 1st of April, yeah, sure. But it ended up being pretty much a joke because the pandemic hit in the midst of March and of course I did not end up going. So again, I was just left in the air. I was just waiting for me to get my letter. Moving on to the next part. At the end of my semester, I get a letter and this is my invitation to go to the interview on 10th of June. I was so happy, but at the same time I was terrified. They wanted me to go on 10th of June for the interview, but I had an exam on 9th and I had another exam on the 12th. So I was like, okay, how the heck am I supposed to study for it? And when I say study, I mean study. Having had all the exams in the university is not actually that much, but still. You have 4 categories, which are Romanian geography, Romanian history, Romanian culture, and Romanian constitution questions. There are 180 questions in each of these categories. You can find the questions online on their website and you can study them however much you want, but there are a lot. And they are questions, history questions from way back, how Romania was made up, to almost the present. Of course, they're not like itty bitty greedy, but for a person that does not love history that much, it's not easy. And I think I had like 3 or 4 days to prepare. So what I did, I tried to read the questions and tried to find the information online, found the answers and made a little document for myself, studied them as much as I could, and I will show you. These are the Romanian geography. And here are pictures and they ask questions. Also the constitution of Romania, Romania culture and civilization and culture, history and civilization, I'm sorry. And also you have to prepare the national anthem. The most I was concerned about the constitution part because of course, I mean, a little bit of history I learned. I was an Olympic at geography, although I'm ashamed to say that because I forgot almost everything. Shh, don't tell anyone. The culture part, I lived here for 10 years. What could they ask me that I wouldn't know? I speak Romanian like any other Romanian would, so I was not that concerned about that part. Also, for the national anthem, again, I lived here for a few years, I should know it. We learn it in school also, so there should be no problem, right? You'll see later. So when the day comes, from where I live to go to Bucharest, the cheapest and the easiest, let's say, way would be to go with the train. Me as a student, we don't pay for the train. I only paid for a sleeping bed because it takes us 13 hours to get there. I went in the night, I slept through it, it was all fine. The next day I did not get to get ready or anything, I just had some presentable clothes with me. I went there 1 hour earlier than I was scheduled. So just outside the building, I was revising from my notes that I made. And the last thing that I read was the national anthem. I was like, I'm so prepared, I'm going to go there and get it done. I went in there, I was so nervous. I went in the room, there was a big glass in front of me because, you know, COVID. I had my mask on and in front of me, at the other end of the room, there were 3 people. There was a man in the middle and 2 other women on the sides. And somewhere in the middle was another woman who kind of interacted with me. So she asked me a few questions at the beginning. She gave me some documents to sign that I did not go outside in the past 2 weeks, you know, the COVID regulations again. And the first thing that they did, they gave me a piece of paper and a pen, and they were reading the text to me and I had to write what I heard. Then they gave me another text to read out loud. So I think it was a passage from my story. I read that. Actually, I think that one went pretty great because they stopped me in the middle. They saw that I can speak Romanian. And after that, I forgot to tell you that I also had to extract 3 little tokens with numbers on them from 1 to 120, each of them representing a number of a question. So I extracted 3 of them 4 times, so 3 questions for each of the 4 categories. And then they started asking me those questions. I think they started with the constitution of Romania. Surprisingly, I did the best in these questions. I think because it was something so new and actually I loved learning it. I pulled almost an all-nighter to read through all the questions and find the answers. Then they asked me something from geography. It went well. Then they started asking me questions from culture and I was a bit lost. Then they asked me history questions and I was lost even more and I started freaking out. And then they asked me to say the national anthem, not to sing it, to recite it. And I was like, what? What? How? I was like, okay. I started, like, I said the first 4 verses, I think. And then I was like, I kind of stopped and they were looking like right through me. And I was like, you know, I'm used to singing it and I don't know what's going on, but I'm kind of blocking myself when I have to just recite it. And then like I'm singing it in my head, I'm trying to catch up and they were like, okay, just take your time. I started singing in my head, I started saying a few more verses and then everything was blank. I blanked out. And I was like, please tell me that this is not happening to me right now. And in my mind, all I could think about was just please make them stop me. Just please stop me right now. Just please tell me it's fine. Let's go further. Just please stop me. And they didn't. And they just stayed there and looked at me and waited. At one point, one of them said, just sing it, just say something. And I was so embarrassed. Just imagine, you've lived here, you're studying here, you studied for all these years in here, and you blanked out of all the things on the national anthem. I just wanted the earth to open up and just suck me in. At one point they were like, okay, after what felt like an eternity of them looking at me like, just say something, you're stupid. And mind you, I was expecting them to tell me in that moment if I passed or not. They just said, well, the results will be on their website. In a few days you can look there if you pass or not. And I was like, oh my god, this is their sign of telling me that I failed. I was convinced that they will just tell me that, you're not prepared for this citizenship, come again, try harder, darling. And yeah, I just went out. I had a lot of time until the train back home. So I went into a park, I sat down, I think I cried a little bit, then I filmed a little bit. At one point after I relaxed, and the relaxing part was me looking into a lake that was in the middle of the park, and me watching TikToks just to distract my mind. I don't know if you ever lived through such an embarrassment that you cannot forget it. No matter what you do, no matter how you try to distract yourself, the same embarrassing moment plays over and over and over again in your head. That was me in that moment. I could not shake it off. Like, I was so ashamed. I was so disappointed in myself. I was like, how could you forget the national anthem? Out of all the things you could forget. Fast forward 2 or 3 days, I get the results, I enter the website, I see the results, and I pass. I don't know how. Bless their soul. From what I heard, you have to do well in at least 75% of the interview. Now that I think back, I guess it wasn't that bad. I passed, and then they asked me to go to be sworn in. I think there are like 2 lines in which I say that I will be loyal to the country, I will respect the laws and the constitution, things like that. And that day was a fantastic day, especially in comparison with the interview. This was, I think, 9th of July. I went to the capital, and I'm so thankful to my friend Joanna. Joanna, if you're watching this, thank you. She actually helped me before and after the swearing in. So I got to do my makeup, change in peace. So I went there. I actually filmed a little bit outside. If I find the footage, I will insert it. And I went in. There were about 15 people, pretty distance. There were 3 religious books in front of us, and we had to get the constitution, put it on one of the 3, and put our hands on top of them and just say the 2 lines. Jur să fiu devotat patriei și poporului român, să apăr drepturile și interesele naționale, să respect Constituția și legile României. And after that, they gave us a certificate saying that we are Romanian citizens. They told us that we can either leave or just stay until the end. And I wanted to stay because this was the little celebration that I could get. I wanted to be a witness of other people's happiness, and I wanted to clap for them. I waited until the end. I took some pictures. I was inserted here. Yeah, I guess that was the whole process. And now I am waiting for the other documents, the birth certificate, the ID, and now I have no excuse to not vote. This was my process. I hope you enjoyed this little story time, and I want to tell you 2 more things. 1, if you went through such an experience in another country or even in Romania, I would love to hear your experience. Please tell me in the comments or redirect me to another video that you made maybe. The second thing is, please be grateful for your citizenship. I know not all countries are what you may wish for. I mean, look, I have my Moldovan citizenship. I know it's not as powerful as the Romanian one, but I'm grateful for it as well, and I'm so lucky that I get to keep both of my citizenships. And I know that I have 2 homes now. I can go either way, and yeah, I have my responsibilities, but I also have a lot of rights, and I'm grateful for that. Please be grateful for what you have. If you liked it, you know what to do. Give it a thumbs up, thumbs down, comment, subscribe if you want to see my face and hear other story times from me. See you in the next video. Bye!